Do you want to know the top 3 scientifically based bodybuilding books for beginners and what order to read them in? That's what we're going to get into. Let's get it. So the reason for this list is, one part, I wished that I had these books when I first started bodybuilding. My God, it would have saved me so much time, misplaced effort, and it probably would have saved me from accumulating some repetition injuries in my lower back and shoulders. So overall, when I was a beginner and novice lifter, I wish I had texts like these to help lay the foundation for progressive training throughout my career. So I hope that you all find this list useful, and let's get to the first one. Number 1, the Max Muscle Plan by Brad Schoenfeld. This book offers a 6-month program with a break-in period for new lifters. It has an introduction to the science of hypertrophy, not to mention it has an advanced glossary with tons of exercises for your body from top to bottom, and it offers some tertiary startup guides to your nutrition and cardio. It's got some great tips and guidelines to go by, not as in-depth as some of the other manuals, but it's a great place to start. Additionally, if you are brand new to exercising and bodybuilding, the exercises that it goes over is in an instructional format, so you're going to have step-by-step guidance on about 100 different exercises, maybe a little bit more, and you're going to have images for that too. My last point for including this book is an appeal to authority, I suppose. Dr. Brad Schoenfeld is basically the godfather of hypertrophy. He's probably the most published. You know what? I'm just going to cut that out. He's the most published researcher in the field of muscle hypertrophy. He literally published the book Science and Development of Muscle Hypertrophy, and I think it's in its 2nd edition. This man knows what you have to do to grow muscle, and you would benefit by having his book as the first one on your shelf. Book number 2. This one is close to my heart. Muscle and Strength Training and Nutrition Pyramids. Technically, this is cheating. They are a set of 2 books. However, I will lump them together because that's how they were initially sold. One of the reasons I love these books so much is because if you bought them on initial release, perhaps even now, if you bought the digital copies, you get free updates for the life of your purchase. Since having purchased the original copies, I believe I've got no less than 3 updates, and so it's just continual information. I mean, it might be every 2 to 5 years, you're getting updated on the most relevant aspects of training and nutrition. So well worth the price just for that. This book also differs from the Max Muscle Plan in that you get a comprehensive guide on beginner, intermediate, and advanced powerlifting and bodybuilding programs. So it will teach you how to program everything for powerlifting and bodybuilding, which the Max Muscle Plan does not have in there. So if you have interest in strength sport or powerlifting, this is a great text to have as well. As the pyramid suggests, they cover a wealth of things. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. Number 1, they're always going to cover adherence first, because adherence to any training program or any diet is going to be the limiting factor in any amount of gains you get, so you're going to have to adhere. In terms of training, the next step up is volume, frequency, and intensity. From there, you're going to move on to progression, then exercise selection, rest periods, and finally, tempo. Moving on to the nutrition pyramid, of course, number 1 thing being adherence. However, moving on to energy balance, macros, micros, nutrient timing, and lastly, right at the top of the pyramid, supplements. The nutrition pyramid even goes into concepts like borrowing calories from other days. They talk about incorporating alcohol and eating out. It really is a great guide to incorporate this type of dieting and training into your lifestyle. These books will teach you how to prioritize what is important and be more flexible, which from a psychological perspective is optimal. Additionally, this is going to be a bit of a man crush Monday, although I'm recording this on like a Saturday or something. Eric Helms, I believe, has his PhD in strength and conditioning. He has a CSCS. He's coached natural bodybuilders with Team 3DMJ for the past decade or more. He's a researcher, podcaster, and recent recipient of a prestigious WNBF pro card, so congratulations to him. Just overall, if you look at his research, his degrees, his hobbies, all of these things come together around the sort of science of optimizing your body for bodybuilding, powerlifting, and other sort of physique endeavors. So it would be worth it to get him and the other authors of that book on your shelf. Last and certainly not least, The Scientific Principles of Hypertrophy Training by Dr. Mike Israetel. The reason I love this book is because you can apply it to the other 2 books. It really allows you to refine how you auto-regulate your training volumes so that you can optimize how much volume you need as an individual. Back to the beginning. If I had to structure these books in any order, it would be the order that I delivered them in. Dr. Brad Schoenfeld's book provides a good structure for the first 6 months to a year of your training, a great baseline. The muscle and strength pyramids go into more depth and more nitty-gritty about creating your own programs, bodybuilding, powerlifting, nutrition, nutrient timing, and various things that Dr. Schoenfeld's book didn't cover. And the scientific principles of hypertrophy goes into even more fine-grained nitty-gritty that can be applied to the previous 2 books. Mainly, it goes into specificity, overload, fatigue management, stimulus, recovery, adaptation, variation, phase potentiation, and tons more. I highly recommend the Audible version of this book because, well, Dr. James Hoffmann has sultry tones. He's easy on the ears. Bad joke. Moving on. Really, though, this book will help you individualize your training the most and help you realize the volume potential of your individual body parts, which I think is so important because we often get stuck in programs that assign very similar volumes to chest and back and quads and hamstrings and calves. Maybe not calves, but all our major muscle groups, when in reality, maybe our chest can take a little bit more than our back. Maybe our upper body can take a little bit more than our lower body. Maybe we can pound our lower body with 20 to 30 sets a week, and our upper body can only take 10. It really just depends on what body parts you're focusing on, and you will only know that once you've tried it. These 3 books should be owned together. Let me know what you think in the comments. The next thing you're going to want to do is check out this review on the RP Hypertrophy app. If you are a lazy soul like myself sometimes, and you want something to auto-regulate your training for you, you're going to find that interesting. See you next time.